Hi, this is Malika of Evanston Live TV, and I have an amazing group of people today. Usually I have one guest on, maybe two at a time, but today I have a force, and they call themselves Emerge. And you know, this is another episode, another segment of STEM Block that's produced by Henry Wilkins. You know that he is leading the charge to get a school in the 5th Ward, and he has just become just an amazing community leader with a voice, and he's getting so involved in education and, you know, hearing the voices of the youth and what it is that we need, and he's working with the parents. It's just been a movement, and it's been just awesome to watch it unfold and develop. So welcome back, Henry, and welcome, Emerge. Okay, Henry, so tell us how this all came about with Emerge and
right.
what's the plan here?
Right. So I learned about Emerge actually through an email. I got an email from, I think it was Anna Grant, said, hey, you know, I'm a part of this Emerge leadership group at ETHS. We want to, you know, find a way where we can help you, you know, with opening a school in the 5th Ward. We want to partner with you. So I replied back and we set up a meeting, and then we just talked about the vision of the school. Was kind of the first meeting. We didn't really have a plan for, you know, how to partner, what it meant to engage. Anna actually was one of the advocates for action last summer. So one of the things that we were doing was trying to go out in the community to share our vision of a school. So we actually were collecting email addresses and asking folks if they wanted to be on the distribution list for updates of opening the school, and just to folks in the community about the vision. So Anna actually was one of the volunteers last summer. Fast forward to, I think I first reached out to you guys, maybe February of 2020 is when we had our first conversation. So, you know, ever since that time, we've been just trying to figure out how to partner, how to engage. So we've actually met a few times, talked about some expanding our social media presence, et cetera. But I'll let these guys talk about what Emerge is about, how they got selected, why they chose it. I think that would be a good place to start.
Okay, so we have Anna Grant Bolton, we have Izzy McDermott, we have William Travis, and I got everybody, right? Is that everybody? Okay. All right. So who wants to start us off? Tell us all about Emerge. I love to see young people with a vision and putting that vision into action where it's real on the ground and it's moving and it's happening. So who wants to tell us all about Emerge?
Yeah, I can talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
So, it's a program that originally was for sophomores, and this year it's actually been expanded to all grades at ETHS, which is exciting. But there was essentially 2 parts to the program. So one is leadership training, which we do in monthly workshops. We do stuff with team building and group dynamics, learn about asset-based community development, and generally leadership through the lens of community. And then we also, the second part of the program is actually building community projects with a group of students who have similar interests. So we all are in this group because we were passionate about the achievement gap in Evanston, and we saw the 5th Ward school and the lack thereof really as a good way to begin.
Okay, Anna, let me ask you a question, and everybody feel free, you know, to jump in, because all of you all, don't let me assume, but all of you all are Caucasian. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Okay. So when you learned the history of what happened with the only school in the 5th Ward, what were what went through your mind? What were your thoughts? Did it really register with you right away? Or did it take, you know, some time for you to really grasp what happened to the Black community in the Fifth Ward in terms of their school?
Yeah, I think, well, something interesting to me that I was blind to this problem up until last year when I did the Advocates for Action with Miss Kim from Cradle to Career. But that just goes to show how my privilege insulated me from that. I have a school that I went to just a couple blocks away, and I was able to take that for granted. But going forward, because of our identities and identifying as white, something that we've been really conscious of is how can we elevate Black voices, how can we elevate Fifth Ward voices, how can we listen and learn from them, as opposed to saying this is what we think is a good idea, but in turn listening to those voices of the community and going from there.
Okay. William, Izzy?
I in the span of around like 3 months, I really learned a lot about the situation of the lack of a school in the Fifth Ward and stuff. Like I mentioned, or like was mentioned before, I saw the Mudlark show, had my eyes to it, and then about a month later, we met with Mr. Wilkins, and my whole life I've lived within like 4 blocks of a school, and the idea that some people in Evanston don't have that privilege is really kind of opened my eyes and made me want to get involved with this. So.
Yeah, like when Mr. Wilkins told us about it, I wasn't like too surprised that they would do that to that community, considering the history of, you know, the race and stuff, like the segregation. But it made me want to change it because, you know, like that wasn't fair. They shouldn't have, you know, stripped the whole school from the community and then forced them to travel, because that's not really fair. So we really wanted to like help and like fix it.
That is awesome. So Henry, what were those conversations like in explaining all of your research and your findings? Has Emerge sat down with the parents of the Fifth Ward and talked to them about how they feel? And
so we haven't done that, but I was just going to answer your first question in regards to, you know, my thoughts around the conversation. You know, one of the things that I felt was important, you know, as we pursued a school, you know, this time around, because this isn't the first time that we've tried to open a school in the Central Core, was making sure we heard, you know, from a diverse group, that, you know, we weren't just hearing from families that lived in the Fifth Ward, you know, generations, or only heard from the folks that lost the school, but, you know, what are other people saying about this? Because I think in order to win this time, we need to win over a lot of hearts and minds beyond just folks, you know, living in that community. It's everyone. It's going to take an entire, you know, group of people to kind of support this and really win this time. And when I say win, you know, returning a school to the Central Core. And, you know, these guys all got it. I mean, it wasn't you know, an earth-shattering insight. I mean, that's why they signed up for this, is they, you know, felt like there was an injustice in regards to the educational opportunities for, you know, folks that live in the Central Core, and they wanted to do something about it. And so, you know, my reaction was, I mean, it was very positive and supportive.
Okay. Emerge, what are some of the like on the ground actions, plans have you all done, and what do you have in the works right now, and what do we have to look forward to if people wanted to join in and help you in your mission?
Yeah, so we wanted to create a club at the high school where students and staff could come to like club meetings and learn about the history and why it's so important. And right now we're really just trying to work on spreading the word considering, quarantine. So we're on social media, we're talking about it with friends and family. We're talking about the club coming up, trying to encourage friends to join.
Okay.
And then Izzy, right, you're taking a lead on getting our Twitter out for the younger crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying.
Twitter, you have to stay on there like constantly. That's why I'm not good with Twitter, because I mean, you have to like literally be on Twitter like all day.
Yeah, sort of.
Look at our president. He's on there like all freaking day, all night.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, we had a Facebook page, we have a website, Instagram, and Izzy's like, well, I don't use Facebook, but I use Twitter.
Yeah.
Facebook is for us old fogies, right? How come you all don't use Facebook anymore? Let me just ask that, because I mean, aside from it, it seems like, I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg is kind of, I don't know, the whole vibe has kind of changed with how he deals Facebook. But prior to that, I know the youth really stopped using Facebook. Why? I mean, it is a great platform.
I mean, like, I guess more platforms came out that were like similar, but they were brand new. So, and my parents wouldn't really let me use really Facebook until like Instagram came out. So then I wanted Instagram, not Facebook.
So your parents don't really deal Instagram, so you want to go where your parents aren't going to be.
I guess you could say that. They're on it now, but they weren't before.
Okay. All right. William, Anna, what are some, you guys want to speak further on the plans and more ideas you guys have that you will be bringing to the ground to work on?
Yeah, so like Izzy said, things really did slow down with like quarantine. Obviously, like our plan was to start a club during this school year, but things slowed down because of quarantine. But another thing kind of just to add on was that we really want to work like kind of one step at a time. And as of right now, Mr. Wilkins kind of made it clear that we got to spread the word and stuff like Izzy was saying. But then in the future, we hope to maybe, keep this club going, hopefully after we even leave high school, and just as long as it takes to, get the school in the Fifth Ward.
Yeah, I think one of the things too, Izzy was going to lead up looking at doing a Zoom meeting and inviting the public to just hear more about the vision and potentially like include some experts in the fields of STEM, also folks that are experts in community school model, just to allow people to ask questions of the experts. That we're kind of in the beginning stages of talking through that. I don't know if Izzy, you want to add anything else to that?
I'm trying to get in contact with students that said before quarantine happened that they would want to join, but because like I can't see them in person, and it's summer, so they're all doing stuff. It's hard to get in contact, but I'm trying.
Mm-hmm. Well, we definitely got to help you all get the word out. With the quarantine happening, how are you all handling that in terms of school and having this great mission? Well, now you're out of school, but when you all were in school and school will be starting back, I mean, how are you all juggling all that with COVID?
Yeah, I think it's difficult. That's something that I struggled with, like trying to be involved in my community, especially at a time like this, while also taking time for myself and keeping up with my grades. But for me, getting on a consistent routine, scheduling myself, time management, that's once quarantine set in, then I was able to get on a consistent schedule, which was helpful.
Okay. And, it's a lot of controversy going on around the country, around the world, really, the George Floyd story has just really awakened everybody, it seems like. Do you all believe that your mission with Emerge, that you're getting more support right now than maybe prior to the George? Because many people are saying it's amazing now they're getting more support, whereas before no one was really listening to anything that had like a Black agenda to it. Are you finding that you're getting more support, more people are willing to listen to what your cause is, your mission is?
I think, yeah. You know, we all, because of quarantine, we all just kind of like paused. And I think that helped people pay attention more. So I feel like when we go back to school, I think more people will get it and they'll like see that there's a need for it. And then I think that we will have more support then.
Okay. And what's the ultimate goal? This is for everybody, Henry, everyone. What's the ultimate goal? How are you measuring that you all are progressing in your mission? And what does that victory look like?
Well, so I'll start. I mean, obviously the end goal is to return to school, to the Central Core. You know, these guys are juniors, and except for Anna Grant Bolton, so she's a senior. Yeah, it'd be nice for them to see, you know, that school open before they graduate. The reality is it probably won't be done, you know, by the time they graduate. You know, success for me is helping us increase our Army size, essentially. So it's increasing our support base, helping to get the word out, increasing the number of people that have signed up to receive updates on where we are with things. You know, in relation more specifically around Facebook, we want to see people, you know, commenting on our posts, liking our posts, you know, forwarding, what they call it, sharing posts, just to increase the awareness and support. Because, you know, this is a David versus Goliath, you know, type of fight. I mean, it's a little, you know, underdog trying to take on, you know, something that's been established and big and has, you know, all the resources in the world at its disposal, and we're trying to take it on. So it's a tall order. So so success, you know, is just expanding that support, you know, base and getting the word out. So these guys, you know, again with Twitter, that's a whole nother demographic that we just don't have exposure to right now, as you just talked about. And then, you know, with them engaging high schoolers, again, that's another, you know, group that, you know, we just don't have exposure to expanding our Army with. So these guys, I think, will help with that.
Okay. What have you all found to be challenging conversations? I mean, like you said, it's like David and Goliath. Is like boxing a mountain to try to make this happen. And we know what the root is as to why it hasn't happened. How have you all handled those conversations when people, I don't know, has anyone told you all, well, we really don't need a school in the Fifth Ward. We really want to keep our schools diverse, so we're okay with the kids busing out of the Fifth Ward to all the other schools? Or, I mean, what have been some of the challenging conversations you all have had?
Actually, I had a conversation with a family member this afternoon. She was saying that if we put a school in the Fifth Ward, then, you know, those kids of color being bused won't be there anymore. They're going to go to the Fifth Ward school. But then my mom pointed out, you know, that the Fifth Ward's not predominantly people of color. Like, there are some, like, white folks there now, but my grandma was like, yeah, but still, it's going to be like the work that they put in before it's just going to go away. And like, I just feel like my grandma doesn't really get how much we need that school and how that busing is just not a good thing. So yeah, like I had to like sit down and like explain to her that the busing is not cool and that we need that school. So.
So she didn't get that, it's an inconvenience, and it also deprives the kids in the Fifth Ward of, having that community, that neighborhood, feel of going to their own school and everyone going to the same school activities. And so she didn't get any of that?
No, because I don't think that she's had to experience that or has had someone she experience that, like, as a white woman. I don't even think that's in her, like, her world at all. So.
Oh, wow. All right, William, Anna?
One thing that I have found to be pretty effective and also a good means of like spreading word is I've talked to a couple of friends, and if they've asked some essential, like some questions like, well, like why do we need a school in the Fifth Ward? Then I've kind of explained, like you said, like, we need to improve the community integrity, like, and it's just not effective to bus these kids around Evanston. And then I've told them that maybe if you can like jot down these facts, then if you tell like another two people and they ask the same questions, and you can kind of inform them. So the more informing we do, I think the more we can kind of just, reach our final goal of just getting more signatures and getting more awareness.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say for me, something that I've been trying to question myself and with the folks that I'm talking to is the question of who does diversity benefit, especially in Evanston. I think a lot of times folks in Evanston, and I know I used to do this, I think especially white folks in Evanston, have the idea that diversity equates with justice and equity, that if all the students are in the same school, then that's going to reduce disparities. But really, this is actually what I did my research paper on. So I had a lot of data that I found or that I used, but it's devastating to communities. And there was grief that accompanies that departure of school. And kind of as Will was saying, in order for Evanston's promises of like quality and justice that we like to talk about so much, in order for those to actually ring through for Fifth Ward community members, that a school needs to come back to the Fifth Ward.
All right. Well, I appreciate you all's work, your vision, for making sure that this happens. We're talking a lot about white allies and what's a real ally versus a fake one. And I think the real ones are the ones, I like how Nia Williams put it. She was one of the youth organizers for the first rally a couple weeks ago. And she said it's white people willing to lay their life down on the line, and they actually get out there and they have those difficult conversations, and they're putting in the blood, sweat, and tears to bring about a change. So, thank you all so much for your work. And I know it takes courage for you to, you all don't have a livelihood yet because you're still at, you're still children. But you're still making a sacrifice, putting yourself out there publicly for this fight. And some people don't like that. And you all don't seem to care. So thank you. Thank you.
It's the least we can do.
Yes. And Henry, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
I'm excited to see what's next for STEM Block. I know you have some more cool people coming on, doing some awesome things. So you are determined to make this happen.
Yes, absolutely.
Determined to make this happen. And I think now more than ever, I think more people are listening. They're listening.
Right.
So yeah, we got to move on things while people are feeling, oh, we're seeing now what you all have been talking about. Yeah, for years. We've been talking about it for years. For years.
Yeah.
But so I'll see you next time for STEM Block, and thank you
Absolutely.
so much, Izzy, Anna, William. Thank you for your work. And anytime you guys want to come back on, if you have a message you want to get out there, you know, just you're always welcome to come back.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Malika.
Thank you, guys. All right.
Thanks, Emerge.
Thank you, Emerge.
Right.
Oh, wait a
All right.
minute. Emerge, before you leave, how can people get in touch with you?
Yes. So right now, for all ETHS students, we'll be sending out applications to all ETHS students. Hopefully this is the goal within the first week of school. But in the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at ETHS_emerge. So we'll be posting updates on that too.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, this has been Malika of Evanston Live TV, and that was Emerge on STEM Block. Henry Wilkins, he'll be doing a segment here on Evanston Live TV called the STEM Block. So I believe this was our third episode with Henry, and yeah, it's going great. It's giving me hope. I'm getting excited because the man is not giving up. He is not giving up. He is on a mission. He is going to get a school in the 5th Ward. So, you know, we've got his back, whatever support he needs. And it's beautiful to see the kids of Emerge laying it out there. They're having those difficult conversations, and not only talking and having conversations, but they're actually out there putting things on the ground to make this happen. So, you know, we thank you, Emerge, and you all stay tuned for another episode of STEM Block with Henry Wilkins. And as always, I've been ending every Evanston Live TV video. One, we've got 2 things attacking us. COVID-19, please be careful, wear your mask, people. I've noticed more and more people getting lax. Wear your mask when you leave the house. Definitely keep your hands clean. Wear your gloves at all times. Take your shoes off at the front door so you're not tracking COVID-19 into your house. And do your best to keep the 6 feet distance. Do your best. I know we've been out there protesting and things, and it's hard to keep that 6 feet distance, but definitely keep your mask on, people. Keep your hands clean. When you come in from a protest, be sure to take a shower like right away, and just, you know, be conscious, be aware always. And as for everything that's going on, the climate is high in terms of racial tension, and you know, it's a very hard time right now. But what I am noticing is that more and more people are waking up and realizing what's been real for years, what has been so real for so many years. So please stay aware, stay conscious. I know it's hard to listen to Trump, you know, every day, every other day, but at the same time, we have to stay tuned in, because you never know what decisions, what moves he's going to be making that could impact you just stepping outside of your house. So just stay engaged, keep yourself informed, and be careful out there, people. Much love to everyone. This is Evanston Live TV. Stay tuned for so much more.